Hey there, crafty friends. It's Connie here from Say It With Simplicity. Easter is just around the corner, and today we're going to be designing a fun Easter project right here in Silhouette Studio. I'm going to walk you through the steps to create your own layered tag like the one you see here on my design page. It features a scalloped egg background, a cute little egg, and then a bunny to finish it off. This is a great project to customize with your own colors, patterned paper, or you could even add a name to this to make your tag special. So let's jump in and get designing. I'm going to go over here to my little plus sign. You could also go to File New, or right here you could do a new drawing. I usually just click on the plus sign, and that's going to open up a new page. And so now I have my page setup guide here. I've selected my Cameo 4. I'm using a 12 by 12 cutting mat, and I have my media size at 12 by 12. I'm going to go to my grid settings, and I'm showing my grid. You want to be sure that your snap to grid is turned off. And let's go to these grid settings, and I'm going to just bump this up so that my spacing is 1 inch. And so that gives me 12 inches across and 12 inches down. And now I can close that page setup panel out. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go over to my drawing tools, and I want to grab my Draw an Ellipse tool. And I'm going to draw out an ellipse. And this isn't really all that important what the size is or anything like that. Just know that you just want to have one taller than wide so that you can use this area to create your egg. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to give this a light pink color, and hopefully that will help my viewers to see this a little bit better. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create that egg. Now, if you're familiar with the flexi shapes that you have in Silhouette Studio, if you have the Designer Plus or the Business Edition, there is an egg in here, but I wanted to share this project with an audience that also maybe doesn't have the Business Edition. I highly recommend the Business Edition, but if you don't have that, you can still do this project. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double click on my egg here, and I'm going to select the edit point on the side. You can see I have 4 edit points here. I'm going to select this one on the right, and I'm going to hold down my shift key, select the one on my left, and now I have both of those selected, and I'm going to delete those points. Now that gives me a long, skinny oval. Now you might ask, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just draw a long, skinny oval in the first place? Well, the thing I wanted to do is not have these 2 edit points right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start making my egg shape. And so you can see I'm about these little blue handles up here if this point up here is selected. So let me double click back into that. And I have click on that top point, and you can see that you can move these little blue handles in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just sort of drag that out so that, whoops, I hit my right button there. I'm going to drag that out so I'm about 2 inches away from the center. So you have 1, 2, and now on this side I'm going to drag this out so that I'm about 2 inches from the center. And that's pretty even. So now I'm going to select my bottom edit point, and I'm going to drag that out so I'm about 3 inches from the center, maybe a little bit longer. So 1, 2, 3, and a little extra. And 1, 2, 3, and a little extra is going to put me right about here. And you can do, make your egg any way you want. If you want to make this a little bit wider at the bottom. I think that looks pretty good right there. And so we're going to call this our egg. And what I want to do is I want to make a duplicate copy of this egg. So I'm just going to hold down my Alt key, which I believe is Options on a Mac, and I'm just going to drag a copy of my egg over to the side, and you'll see why later on. So now I'm going to create a perfect circle by holding down my Shift key and just dragging my mouse until I have that perfect circle. And let's color this in with just a kind of a light green color so we can see that better. So I'm closing out my point editing panel, and I'm going to go to the replicate panel. And I'm working in Silhouette Studio 5, version 5, and I'm in the business edition. So if my screen looks a little bit different than yours, that's okay. But right here is that replicate panel, and I am going to open that up. And I want to go over to the third tab, which is this object on a path. So I'm going to select my green circle, and I'm going to click on Show Grab Handle. So let's show the grab handle, and it looks like this little bullseye thing in the center of my circle. And I'm just going to drag this over to my egg and put it down on the top, and it's going to start to replicate around the edges of the egg. But I don't have enough copies for the circles to overlap, so I'm going to go down here to this number of repeats, and I'm going to click on the up arrow button until I get to a point where my circles are overlapping. And so they're overlapping about there. That's giving me, there's 22 repeats. And so I'm going to click on Release Copies, and you can see now that my circles have replicated around the edge of the egg. And I'm going to select all of this by mousing over it, and I'm going to click Weld. And now you can see that I have this cute little scalloped egg, and I'm going to color this a deeper pink, I guess. And I'm going to, again, I'm going to go Alt and drag, and I'm going to bring this to the front. And I'm going to line these up so that they're centered, and then they're centered in the middle, aligned in the middle. And let's go ahead and group those. So for your bunny, there's several different things that you can do. You can maybe try finding a bunny online, a silhouette of a bunny that you can trace. I have a bunny in my, let's go to File, Merge, and I'm going to look in my Downloads folder, and I have a bunny silhouette right here. And so I could bring my bunny silhouette, and again, I made this one, and I do have this on my website, so if you want to go to sayitwithsimplicity.com and look in the free SVG library, you'll be able to find that bunny there. I'm going to go to my library here, and I'm going to just search bunny. And I have these little bunnies that are by Hero Arts, and I'm just going to double click on them and bring them, into Silhouette Studio, or onto my design page here. Let's go ahead and color them white. And I like this little bunny right up here on the left hand side, so I'm just going to resize this. And these are all grouped. I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to put the other bunnies off to the side here. I sort of like this one too. And I'll leave a link down in the description box for the number of that design if you want to go shopping for it in the Silhouette Design Store. But now we have our little bunny here. And again, we could add a name to this. You could use heat transfer vinyl. You could create a sticker. You could use some letter stamps, whatever you have for creating a little name. You might be able to use your pen tool for that, but again, that's totally up to you how you want to customize your design. So we could stop right here, and this would really make a cute card element. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to group this. And this is sort of big right now, so I'm going to resize this down to, let's go to 4 inches. And then we'll have to zoom in here just a little bit so that we can see this a little bit better. But now this is a little bit more of a size that we would use on our Easter basket. And then we're going to go up here to the line tools, the draw line, and I'm going to hold down my shift key and draw a line straight down. And I'm going to unlock the proportions, and I'm going to make that line 0.375 inches tall. And now I just want to make this line a little bit thicker, and I can do that from my quick access toolbar up here, but let's go ahead and let's go over to the line style panel, and I'm going to go over here to thickness, and let's just use the up arrow key to bump this line up a little bit. And let's make it 7 right there. And I can close that out. And now I'm going to duplicate this. I can just Alt and drag again, or you could alternately, you could right click on it and duplicate. So either one. And now I have an extra one. I'm just going to delete that. But I want these to be centered, so I'm going to just go up here to my quick access toolbar, and I'm just going to align them in the middle. And let's see, maybe I can just use my arrow key and move that over slightly. Okay, now remember, these are just lines, but because I've thickened these will work, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group them. I want to make sure this is all grouped, and it is. And now I'm just going to drag those lines over to my design, and I'm going to sort of set them in the middle here. But I'm going to mouse over all of this, and I'm going to center it just to make sure. And then I'm going to go to my modify panel with all, let's select all of that. Go to the modify panel, which is right here, the circle over the rectangle. And I'm going to open up that modify panel, and I'm going to go up here to subtract. And when that happened, this is no longer grouped, but you can see that you have these 2 sets of lines that were subtracted or bumped out of both of these pieces, and now these will perfectly align, and you can put like a ribbon or something through that when you go to make your project. So like I said, this could be a banner, this could be, if you didn't use these, you could use it for a card element. I think this would make a really cute little basket tag, so that it looks like a little gift. But isn't that adorable? And I'll share these on my blog. I made some of these in some different colors, and I'll leave a link to that blog post down in the description box below. So let's just zoom out here. And I have my Cameo ready to go, and I don't have any media loaded yet. I'm going to just set up these on my mat so that I can cut them out of some scrap cardstock that I have, and then I can share them with you here in a little bit. I liked this bunny, and I just want to resize it so I can show you also. And let's see. That looks pretty good there. And how about this one? We'll bring it to the front and resize it. And so I'm going to get some of these cut out, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes to share with you what we have. So you can see how cute these turned out. For this middle one, I just used some scrap cardstock that I had, and so that was a great use of my scraps. And I did a little pattern paper around this one here, but I wanted to show you how easy it is then to thread this ribbon through here and just have it so that it will hang perfectly for a banner or something like that. So I have one cut out, and I just wanted to share with you how I assembled it. I have my scalloped egg, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this tape runner. I'll leave a link to this in the description box below, but this is from scrapbook.com. And then I cut a bunny out of some pink here, and I'm just going to place it in the center. And that was just popped up on some foam tape, so just gives it a little bit extra dimension. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, I hope you'll give it a like and subscribe to the channel so that you can learn how to create these type of projects with your Silhouette Cameo for your home and family. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.